World. Log on to vhix.com for all of your automotive needs.
Back in the big segment tonight, one of the most incisive points Barack Obama made today is that there is anger in some black churches across the country, but how prevalent is that anger? With us now, Dr. R. LaRue Lewis, who teaches sociology and black studies at the City College of New York. See, white America, and that includes myself, I have been to black churches. I find them fascinating. The services go on forever, by the way. You know, Catholics are looking at their, if it's 45 minutes, the Catholics are going like this. But the black churches are in there for hours, the ones that I attended, and it is a much more social experience, correct?
I believe it is a social and a political experience. As you mentioned, it can be a long time when people come into church because they do things like fellowship, but they also discuss the moral and ethical dimensions of religious as well as political implications for their lives.
Now, the anger that we saw from Reverend Wright, is that unusual?
I wouldn't call it unusual, but I wouldn't always call it typical. On any given Sunday when you walk into a black church, you're going to have your standard discussions about morality, ethics, personal responsibility, and occasionally conversations about the political may come in. This has been happening for a long time in black churches from the area of enslavement to currently.
If you had to grade Reverend Wright's militant stance, and 10 was the highest and 1 was the lowest, where would he be as far as black preachers are concerned? How militant is he?
If you wanted to use the word militant, I'm not sure, but in terms of a radical liberation theology, he's closer to the 10 end, embracing an Afrocentric point of view, embracing a self-help point of view.
So he would be up there in a radical realm of black preachers in America.
I think he would be towards the radical realm, but it's important to understand that most black individuals have an issue with the way in which America has limited opportunity for them. So Reverend Wright uses the pulpit on occasion to express that issue and bring it to the forefront so members can discuss it and provoke further conversation.
Now, Barack Obama says no, that the country's evolved, and he understands the anger, but the country is going in the direction it should be going. Is Barack Obama wrong?
I think Barack Obama is right that the country is evolving and things are changing, but it's important to understand that the African-American community is diverse. Like all groups, we have people who are radical, who are conservative, who are middle of the road, and they view the potential for America in a wide range. I think Langston Hughes said it best when he asked black Americans, he wanted America to be America again, to provide us with the opportunities that were claimed early in the Constitution but denied for so long.
If you were in the church, Reverend Wright's church, and you heard him say, and you're an educated man, you don't believe that the government injected AIDS to kill people of color, do you?
I can't say whether...
Do you, come on, doctor, do you believe it or not?
Do I believe the government? Personally, I do not. But I do respect the right of some people to question the unfettered arrival of AIDS and HIV to the community and the ravishing effects it's had. The inability to have access to quality health care reflects an earlier concern from the Tuskegee experiment.
I think that's been traced to risky behavior, and it's not a black deal. Or more whites.
But it overwhelmingly affects African Americans, so it's important. It does. If we look at the numbers, the statistics certainly say that there's disproportionate infection among HIV and AIDS among African Americans, which is an important consideration.
That's because of the intravenous drug use.
We're not sure exactly. There are multiple factors that come together.
All right, so you don't believe that AIDS was injected?
Personally, I do not.
Okay, you don't believe that the United States is as bad as Al-Qaeda, right?
I would not compare that United States to Al-Qaeda because it's a nation and there's a political organization as Al-Qaeda, which are very different.
He says that the United States and Al-Qaeda, there's no difference. We just kill under a different flag. So you don't believe that. You're sitting there, you hear that. Do you stay in the church?
What I do is first evaluate where that idea is coming from. If it's centered upon a loss of human life as being critical, as being problematic, then I say, that's an important question to raise. Is the loss of a life of somebody in Pakistan, in Iran, or Iraq different than the loss of life in the United States?
You're not immediately offended and walking out the door?
No, it's there to raise a question, to raise questions amongst the community.
These were pretty flat-out statements.
And those statements are supposed to raise questions amongst the congregation. They're not conclusions. They're openers to discussion.
You know, I think if you look at history, Doctor, and you should, that a lot of demagogues and a lot of people who've done a lot of evil did exactly what Reverend Wright did. Exactly.
It's not exactly what he did, because if we look at the tradition of the black church has always been a place where radicalism has been expressed. When it was uncomfortable for blacks to meet, the only location they had was Sunday.
Okay.
And so if we see a radical tradition amongst African Americans, it's not necessarily like the demagogues you mentioned before. It may be embracing history and the current reality that African Americans face.
Doctor, thank you. We appreciate it. Pinheads and Patriots is next tonight, starring Simon Cowell and Nicole Kidman. Who is what? Right back with it.